Good morning. Hey, this is your host, Jeff Ski Kinsey at Fast Charge Energy. That's also the website, fastchargeenergy.com. And this podcast, this audio podcast, which becomes a video on YouTube, is powered by Rhino Island Media and our brand, 27 Rhinos. That's also a website, 27rhinos.net. Soon to move. I found out that my host has let somebody spam, and so that's disappointing. That's very disappointing. The the world of the internet is an amazingly complex concept. Yeah, it should just work, but those days are long over. I was talking, in fact, yesterday with a couple gentlemen, and I mentioned that I sold my first e-commerce solution over the internet. Back then, it was via CompuServe. CompuServe was connected to the internet way back when, and it was 1988. I sold a package that submitted W-2s. If you employed X number of people, more than X number of people, you had to file those W-2s electronically with the federal government. And my team wrote a program to do that, and we marketed it, resold it, and actually sold at least one copy. You always remember your first. At least one copy over CompuServe. But things have changed. But I'll tell you what has not changed. The power of a framework. Some call them templates. Some people call them frameworks. Others call them patterns. But success, as the late Earl Nightingale preached, is the progressive realization of a worthwhile goal or dream or ideal. Okay, and success goes much, much faster with a framework. And the better the framework, the faster it goes. One of my heroes, Shama Hyder, posted this morning on LinkedIn about international companies coming into the U.S. and not always doing well. They don't understand it's both a sprint and a marathon. So interesting post. If you're not following Shama Hyder from Zen Media on LinkedIn, you're missing out on a ton of great insight. Is she perfect? No, of course not. I'm not even perfect. That's right, you heard it here maybe first. The ski man is not perfect. I freely admit that. I am passionate, I am focused, and occasionally focused to a fault. I apologize for that. I don't purposely set out to offend anybody. Sometimes it just happens. But back to frameworks. In this new thing I launched in response to a challenge from Joe Justice. If you don't know that name and you think you're in the manufacturing or production business, then you really don't know manufacturing or production. That's a bold statement, but Joe will back me up on that. Maybe humbly so, but this guy has shaken not only my world, but Sandy Monroe's. And if you don't know that name, you're probably not in manufacturing or production. You're definitely not in the auto space. But anyhow, enough about me. Let's talk about you. Okay? I put together a team of the most amazing individuals, I think, on the planet. These are world-class entrepreneurs, actually, in their own right, besides having a skill set that is amazing. And we're standing by to help you with something I created, as I said, at Joe's suggestion. He's a big fan of something called mobbing. And if you don't know, he's a force to be reckoned with in the Agile movement. And I'm not a big fan of Agile, okay? I'm a huge fan of Scrum done right, which means done my way, and done Joe's way. Huge fan. But Agile, But he actually did make it make sense. He said, look, if we took Tesla's employee handbook, it's only 4 pages long, and made it the dogma or document, the mantra for Agile, then I would be 100% on board. But I create this framework. I call it ideation engine. Okay? Ideation means taking ideas. But here's the twist. In my world, we use this framework known as the theory of constraints from the late Dr. Ellie Goldratt. Goldrat's TOC, theory of constraints. It's actually a law. Okay? Every business is constrained. Every business has but one weakest link. You can quote me on that. I'm going to go a little long this morning. So my team and I, we take this framework and we apply it to stuff. And I want to teach you this system. And I've got it down. Think of this. I've got it down. I can teach you ideation in just 9 minutes because of this thing called Perplexity, which is an AI, a large language model AI. It's like Chat GPT, only better. Now, that may not always be true, and it might not be 100% accurate, but they were the first I had seen. And again, one of my team members come to me and said, hey, look at this thing. It did first. It was the first one to add citations right in its response. And it's got the coolest share button in the world. And I've seen a lot of share buttons. Okay. When you share your results from Perplexity with others, it includes your question and the references. So there's no guessing, where did you come up with this insight? It cites its work. Now, how cool is that? So with Perplexity and another AI called Image, or is it Imagine? I'm not sure, and I'm not going to stop and look it up, but it creates royalty-free images. Now, how cool is that? That is very cool. So, and by the way, where you should apply this ideation is in your existing business, in your existing processes. Aha. Why do I say that? See, in the world of startups, we're always saying, look, it's not the idea, it's the execution. And that's true. But if you've got a business and you're not happy with its throughput or its market share or maybe its resale value, you need ideation engine.